For Roxlogs, I'm Rojan. G'day everyone, you're tuning into Tearful Grotto. For today, how a massive tip turned into a lawsuit. In June 2022, Mariana Lambert was tipped $3,000 after serving customer Eric Smith at Alfredo's Pizza Cafe in Scranton, Pennsylvania. The Toronto Sun said that the meal Smith ordered was a $13.25 stromboli. The generous tip left Lambert feeling very emotional. She said to Uniland, "It really meant a lot to me because everyone's going through stuff. It really touched my heart. I still can't believe it. I'm still in shock." Wanting to make sure the tip wasn't left by accident, Mart Martini of Alfredo's Cafe went out to verify it with the guest. When asked about the note, Martini said that Smith explained that he was inspired by the social media trend called Tips for Jesus, and had decided to surprise the server after a hospitality. Lambert recalled to the Toronto Sun, "They took his ID and took pictures of everything, so they waited a little bit to make sure it was legit and went through. And it ended up being real." Despite the positive intent behind the tip and its emotional impact on the server, things went downhill. Weeks after that particular day, the cafe received a letter from Smith saying that he was disputing the charge for the tip. At that point in time, Alfredo's had already given the tip to Lambert, so the cafe had to repay Smith the $3,000 out of their own pockets. Management reached out to Smith on Facebook to get the record straight and to clear any misunderstandings, but they were left with no response. The restaurant then decided to take Smith to court to address their $3,000 loss. Manager of Alfredo's, Zachary Jacobson, said to Toronto Sun, "Unfortunately, we had to file charges through the magistrate's office because now we're just out of this money at this point, and he told us to sue him, so that's what we're going to end up doing, I guess." He also added, "I hope that he owns up to his actions and comes forth and does pay this, because you shouldn't have done this if this was the end result." Tips for Jesus is a social media trend that rose in popularity in the 2010s. Essentially, the trend is where customers would give their servers extreme amounts of money for a tip. Often these tips would be at least $30, but there are photos on Instagram where the tips were as big as $10,000 or more. It's a server stream. There is one Instagram account in particular called Tips for Jesus, where they would give shoutouts for people who submit photos displaying the amount tipped to the server. This actually reminds me of an incident that happened back in 2021, when fake prank channels were trendy. A category that was popular is when influencers gave or offered very expensive items to people that could be seen as beneath them. Think like the homeless people, children, or even their own employees in some cases. This incident today's story reminded me of is when a TikToker filmed himself giving a young girl a smartphone. Then footage was leaked of that same influencer demanding the phone back as soon as he stopped filming. In the video, which was likely posted by the mother of the girl, the influencer was seen trying to pry the phone out of the girl's hands, trying to bribe, and even attempting to convince them that it wasn't real and that it was just a prop. I'm not accusing Smith for doing the Tips for Jesus trend for internet clout. What I'm trying to say is that this isn't the first, nor will it be the last time people would give away an amazing gift only to demand it back after a short period of time. Obviously, Smith could have something in his life that made him really need that money back, but I think that if he resolved it with the restaurant while he had the chance, things wouldn't have escalated the way they have. On top of that, I think many would agree with me that once you give a gift, that gift is a receiver's. You can't just demand it back without a good reason, or else that would ruin it for other people. That's why there is a saying that it's the thought that counts. Thank you for listening to Tearful Grotto. If you like what you've heard, join me next time. See you soon. For Roxlogs, I'm Rochen.